So, good morning, everyone. This is Serena, and today I will talk you about on how to execute a successful data migration into Odoo. So, I will just give you a brief introduction about our group, Symphony Partners and Overture, the group where I belong. And I will then move to the talk itself, so talking about the main things needed to execute a successful data migration to Odoo. And then we will move to the question and answers session. So, just briefly, we are Symphony Partners. We are a group of technology companies that offers a comprehensive software platform, and we bring people and corporate and enterprise companies into digital and cloud transformation. We provide different solutions that are modular. We have CPQ products, CRM, and also cloud-based integration and delivery solutions. We are across Europe with a team that make more than 300 experienced FTS. So just a deep dive about our business organization. We have the software platform part, which is made by Between and IFS and is focused on CPQ solutions. And then we have Odoo that is focused on ERP and CRM implementation and is based on Odoo. And then we have the technology services part, which is composed by Overture, which is the digital transformation service provider, which is focused on cloud native development and integrations. And then we have Idea, that is our creative agency. As you can see, our business organization is very heterogeneous, and this helps us to give to the customers 360 suite of products and delivery projects. So, focus on Overture, as I said, it is our technological area and is composed mainly by cloud infrastructure part, the cloud native and AI integration, and then the big data smart analytics part and the enterprise collaboration part. All these kind of expertise are very important and we will see later why they are important to deliver a successful data migration into Odoo and to have all the things in the right path in the right moment with the tight deadlines that usually we have in this kind of projects. So let's go to the key challenges and the key issues of this kind of projects. Usually when we do an ERP data migration, we have a lot of very common issues that usually are very, very underestimated. In fact, data migration is often treated as a secondary task, but actually is very important for an ERP project success. We usually have very complex legacy systems that have very fragmented and poorly documented data. We have, of course, data quality issues because there are a lot of data that have missing values, inconsistencies, duplicated, and also a lot of mismatch. And of course, the crucial part is to try to match the legacy models with the to-be models. And this is a very, very important and crucial part and very underestimated, that needs the expertise not only of the tech people but also of the business people. And of course we also have tight deadlines always, and this is a very crucial point because sometimes this kind of tight deadline, if you don't bring a data migration with the right importance, can risk to block the go live of the project. So we made a solution that has been built over time to try to mitigate this kind of risks, and we will see in the slides all the steps that we need to have to bring a successful data migration. First of all, we need a paradigm shift. So what we decided to do is to move from on-premise to cloud. And this is important because if you move to on-premise to cloud, you have, first of all, scalability, because you can manage large-scale migration without any hardware constraint. You can have, of course, security and safer testing, and also is easier to recover from disasters. You have automation because, of course, with the scalability and cloud-based infrastructure, you can make orchestration and also very sophisticated pipelines. And of course, this kind of paradigm shift bring to a modernization of the infrastructures, and also it make easy the collaboration among teams that are distributed around. So this is the first thing that we made to try to make a data migration successful. We choose as a cloud provider Google Cloud Platform, and this is because it has a lot of tools and services that can be easily used to build the ETL process of our data migration, and of course also because it is very powerful in machine learning and database and storage tools. All these kind of things are very useful not only for the go live of the project, but also after, when you have to do reports and something like that with machine learning and smart analytics tools. So going more in detail about our solution, I will focus on how we made this cloud-driven data migration to Odoo. And first of all, of course, our solution is based on scalable, automated, and secure cloud-based process. And all these kind of things lead to a migration into Odoo by ensuring quality, consistency, and also fast delivery. What we do is basically extract data from the legacy system, and of course, before to put our data into the new system, we do all the data transformation processes, which means cleansing, mapping, remove duplicates, and so on. And this is done with sophisticated pipelines on Google Cloud. We, of course, have on top cloud orchestration, because we have to have pipelines that can be replicated and used also not only for the projects itself, but also for future projects, to have like a kind of baseline pipeline that can be used for future migrations. And of course, then we have the target load, which is the most important part, which is the migration into Odoo through APIs. These kind of steps can have different benefits, like make a faster migration because you have well done orchestrated pipelines. You can automate the process, and this make the reduction of the errors that you can make if you have something very fragmented and without an automation. And of course, you can have future-ready architecture for analytics and AI. Last but not least, this kind of solution based on cloud and not on-premise are also cost efficient. By giving a glance into the migration flow, in practice, we will see later which kind of tools we use in Google in this case in particular, but basically we have a staging area, which is a storage where you can put a lot of data without any limitation in terms of storaging. Then you have incremental loads by using SQL-based script and also Python. And this kind of incremental loads includes also the transformation that make your data cleaner and also ready to use for the data model to be. And then, of course, you have all the pipeline that bring to the execution into Odoo through the API. This kind of part is, of course, monitored, is rollback ready, so that if you have any kind of incident, you can roll back and start from the point where you were interrupted. So About Google Cloud and the components that we use for this kind of data migration, just a quick look. We use these tools from Google Cloud that are very common for the people that knows Google Cloud. So basic cloud storage, which is scalable and secure staging area for very large data volumes. Then we have Cloud Run, that is a serverless ETL jobs that can make easier the orchestration and the scalability of our flow. Then we have PubSub for the messages and for the event-driven orchestration. And of course, we have a SQL area, in this case Cloud SQL with Postgres, to manage the data from the staging to Odoo, so that we can do all the transformations of the data. And of course, we have all the monitoring part with cloud logging that can make it possible to have a full observability of the whole flow, so that you can also make audit trail and have proactive alerts if something is not going well. So it's very important, as I said, to have clean migration into Odoo. This is because, of course, if you don't have clean data into the target model, you cannot rely on the processes. If you don't have aligned models, of course, you cannot adopt the new system. If you don't have validated information, of course, you cannot trust reporting. And this is a crucial point because, of course, migration is not just about moving data from a place to another, but there is a lot of work around, because, as I said before, it's also very important to have a collaboration with the business area and to try to bring value from day one to the new system. And the crucial point is turning chaos into clean and trusted data, because, of course, if you bring the messy data as is from the old system and you put the old data into the new system, you will have the old problems in the new system, and this is something that, of course, we don't want to have. And to do this, basically, is very important to follow all the things that I said before, so have automated data quality checks, so that we can have completed data, we don't have duplicated, and we have consistencies. It's important to also make the right transformation, because we have to map the old values with the new values, so that then the processes can work. And of course, this is not something that you can do in one day. When you do this kind of projects, you have to do incremental tests, you have to do incremental runs, so that before they go live, you will be sure that your kind of pipeline will be replicated, and you don't have any kind of surprise, because you tried several times with several runs and several tests, that the data that you will put in the new system during the go live will be trusted. And to do this, of course, we need business. I will focus on this part, because a lot of people think that migration is just a tech thing. It's not like that. Business stakeholder is the main part of a data migration project, and also it's very important to have a straight collaboration between tech team and business stakeholders, because otherwise you don't will have the cleaned data into the new system, in this case Odoo. So successful migration happen when business logic drives the data model, and this is very, very, very crucial for this kind of projects. And yeah, to summarize, in this kind of projects, you basically will go from chaos. So before you have high risk of data loss, you have scripts that are manual, that are fragmented, that are not orchestrated. And also, if you don't bring the right things in this kind of project, you will have legacy issues in the new system. After, if you follow this kind of suggestions and best practices to bring a successful data migration, you will have safer rollbacks, and also you will reduce the risk. You will have an infrastructure that is scalable, and also pipelines that can be reused for future projects. You will have higher data quality, so in this kind, so that you can reduce the risk of having any kind of block after they go live, because if you have higher data quality, you will be sure that your processes will work from day one, and also you will have transparent and traceable processes. And to summarize, I think that with the right process, migration stops to being a risk, and actually migration can be also an accelerator of a go live project of this complexity. So in conclusion, as I said, data migration is not just a side task, it's very critical for a successful factor of ERP projects. If you use cloud-native approach, you will be able to use scalable, automated and pipelines that can be used further for other projects. It's very important to have collaboration between business and technical teams. It's actually essential. And of course, also the methodology is very important, because the go live cannot just happen in one day in this kind of projects, but you have to do incremental tests so that you will be sure that your pipelines will be replicable and trusted, so that with the right process, migrations can evolve from chaos to clarity. And that's it from me.
Thank you, Serena, for the presentation. We're going to wait for the pad to fill up with the questions, so you guys can scan the QR code that's right above my head. And I'm going to relay the questions to Serena live. So I see somebody's typing a question, but he doesn't seem very sure about what he wants to ask. The question is straightforward. What are the costs?
Yeah, so the cost, it depends on the kind of project, because of course if you have very complex projects where you have a lot of data to migrate and so on, you have to have a lot of resources behind, and also it depends on the time that you have when you have to move the data, because of course if you have a very short time, you have to put a lot of infrastructure resource behind, and this can be expensive. But of course it depends on the on how many things you have to move, the complexity of the projects, but with cloud usually you can mitigate the, I mean, make the cost efficient.
All right. All these questions are coming on at the same time. Can you give us one important tip when migrating legacy data into Odoo?
Yeah, actually, for me, the very important things is to have people from business with you, because sometimes it's not very easy to say, okay, I have to move this table to the table into Odoo, because the data model is not matching never, basically. So I think the most important tip is to have people around that knows the business and knows the processes and knows why we have to move that data in the new system in that way.
All right. Is it GDPR compliant with Google?
Yes. Yes, Google itself is GDPR compliant.
Short question, short answer. What do you think are the most complex models in Odoo to migrate data from the source system to Odoo, and why?
Well, actually it depends, because I mean, for example, REST partner is a very complex structure, but it depends what you have to move in there. So also there is not an easy answer on this.
Okay. So the person who asked that question, please reach out to Serena for further details. How do you handle data entity migration between different systems? They can be completely different, surely will be, between other systems and Odoo, domain models, I mean.
Yeah, I think this is the most crucial part. I mean, there is a lot of work that you have to do to bring the old data, the schema of the old data, the mapping of the value of some particular attributes, and then you have to understand which is the meaning of this kind of data, and try to move into the new system and say, okay, the meaning from the as is will be the same meaning in the to be. So this is very crucial, not easy, because sometimes you have also a lot of entities that have to be related among them from the beginning, and then you have to put them together in the to be system and be consistent. So I think this is one of the most tricky part that requires a lot of work behind. It's not just, the code to take the attributes and move into Odoo with an API, but it's all the work that you have behind that is very hard.
So the next question, how can you reduce the count of iterations needed to as less as possible to come to a successful migration, as importing the data from legacy systems can cause a lot of validation errors?
I think this is something that can be incremental, as I said, because of course at the beginning when you do the first run, nothing will be inside because basically there are a lot of inconsistencies. But then when you will be layer by layer, when you fix something and then you move to the next run, and you have also more knowledges about the to be and the as is, this kind of reduction will be natural basically. But it's not something that can be handled from the first day.
So the next question is, I think, more soft skill related. How do you give estimations on something that the customer may have no idea? How do you handle the uncertainty that goes with it?
This is a good question actually, and usually the answer is that usually you can't, because because sometimes the customers have like, okay, let's move 2 entities, and then from 2 they become 60. So of course the uncertainty is too high. You cannot. I mean, you can just give an idea and say, okay, I have 10 entities. I can do this in I don't know 4 months. But then of course if this 10 will become 6 times the beginning, the original number, the uncertainty is very, very hard to estimate.
All right, so this is a long question. I hear I hear that there are very many knobs to turn, things to configure in Odoo before it can go live. Let's start with basic accounting functionality. This allows flexibility because lots to customize, but makes setup and migration more difficult, complex, challenging. Is there any truth to this? Would you have real life proof of concept?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have proof of concept about the accounting part, but in general, yes, you have. I mean, you cannot just use the system like it is, because of course you have to fit also the business requirement from the customers, and this is why, of course, there will be a bit of customization in the to-be system.
I think there's a question here. How do you manage the enrichment of data?
It depends. I mean, sometimes you need to have, like for example, for data that are about customers, something like that, you have to take external entities and relate the external entities with the entity that you have to bring inside. But usually what we do is try to do this kind of transformations in the staging area. So we put data in Cloud SQL, and then we make all these kind of things in there, and then we put the data already transformed and enriched inside Odoo.
All right, so I can see that we're reaching the end of our timing. I know that we haven't answered all the questions, So I'll invite you to reach out to Serena directly to get further detail on the questions that we haven't answered today if we didn't cover your question. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.